It's YouTube Wednesday! Look at that guy back there. I have my plaster head form that I made a video or two ago. I have a spray bottle full of water, I have a can of Loctite foam, and I have some saran wrap. There are times when you want the plaster of your head to be a thing, and there are other times when you want to protect it. I don't want the Loctite foam to get stuck to it, so I'm just going to wrap this in saran wrap in order to keep that foam off of it. Seems like I had just enough. Let's wet this puppy down. I'm now going to put a layer of foam over it. Unfortunately, my straw broke on this. I knew that before. I tried fixing it with a soda straw and some electrical tape. Did not work. But I'm just going to put this very carefully onto the sculpture bust. I have coated the whole thing in a layer, and I'm going to go ahead and mist that down with water. Alexa, countdown, 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Starting now.
I only want to give this 3 minutes or so to form a skin, and then I want to be able to sculpt it and work on it. So now this material has a skin on it, all right? And I can begin to sculpt in a skull. I have a reference photo here, and I've set this up on a turntable. First thing I'm going to do, though, is just press this down to get that nice round skull shape. And when you are doing this, you can really flatten it and compress it, and I'll be able to like rub this smooth. Definitely a material to play with. See how smooth that's getting? Now it's going to keep some texture, but that's perfectly fine. I want it to have some texture. Okay, and I'm double checking where those eyes are. See how I'm just using my fingers to squeeze in that nose shape? Really compress this down and make this be, you know, really control the shape. And I'm gonna leave the camera live here. I won't speed up through this sculpting process, but I think it's one kind of worth seeing, I guess. I'm gonna press in here where the jawbone is its own thing. I'm pressing in, I'm forming that jawbone, at least the area under it. See how this is becoming the nose? Just shaping that with my hands. Another one of those, there we go. And this can stay a little bit loose. It doesn't have to be, you know, a super controlled sculpture if I'm going for that nice all over texture. Back here, I am pressing and pressing. And the tighter I get this back here, the more this is going to seem puffed out and skull-like. What I'm going for is a rather subtle character skull. I don't necessarily want it to be exaggerated or cartoony. And I'm going to put the teeth in after. So all I have to do right now is really get this shape where I want it. As I am pushing and shaping and smoothing, just keeping that skull shape. And I don't work any area too long. I'm going to keep moving around. This takes a little bit of getting used to because this material is just so different from most of the things that we sculpt with and use. I also want to push this up a little bit in the back. I don't want to not be able to get this off of the head form. I probably will have to cut it to really get it off the head form. Now I'm pinching that and I'm building this up and out a little bit. So use my thumb to build that jawbone right there so that goes back. Do that again on the other side. Build up this bone right here. Will this be a perfect skull? No. Will it have texture and look cool and get the idea across? Yeah, I think that it will. See, I'm making a line here. I'm making this line just so I can put the teeth in there later. I'm going to force that open because I want there to be breathing holes here. Now that skin is getting kind of tough. Everywhere up here, it's puffing up. I'm working on it. I'm smoothing it. I'm actually pretty happy with this and how this is going right now. So I'm going to babysit this for the next 5 minutes or so. And by babysit, I'm just going to watch it. I'm going to make sure it's not puffing up anywhere. I don't want it to puff up. It's, I'm pretty solid here. I've got a really good skin on it. If I open it up, there is gooey in the middle. But we're getting to a point where I can leave this. Feel good about this sculpture. Just messing with it. It's dry to it's still shapeable, but it's dry to the touch. Really gonna peek that. I just wanna make sure that it'll fit over a human head, you know? And I'll tell you, I'm happy with that. While I'm letting this sit here and harden, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prep the teeth. I'm gonna get all the teeth ready to glue on here. While my hot glue gun is heating up, I'm just looking at the mask. I have that very general, very basic skull shape that I want. I'm pushing in on some of those areas. This is sculpting, just a different material. I could do a little more on here if I wanted to, but I think what I've got is going to be enough. I like the generic skull shape. I think it feels right. I'm going to do a little bit of build up with the glue gun and putting the teeth on and stuff, so I think I can get this a little more under control. It's this nice, diseased looking skull. You can't look at it and not see a skull, and that's our goal. If you have white glue sticks, you can use white glue sticks for this, for making these teeth. And I have a couple videos where I do this in the past. This technique is nothing new. Why mess with something if it works? I really like the teeth that come out of this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make teardrop shapes. And I'm thinking about the teeth as I do it. And what I mean by thinking about the teeth is I am making this drop about the size that I want. You can see what I have here is this whole sheet full of teardrop shapes. See that? I'm going to cut off the fat end. That is my front incisor tooth. Going to go right there on that skull. So I'm going to go ahead and treat all of these by peeling them off and cutting off the teardrop end to be flat. I'll make myself a little pile of teeth right over here. Look right there, that's my top set of teeth. Start at the middle and I'm working my way out. Every skull mask you make like this is going to be unique and have its own look and character. So I really kind of enjoy this process. Right now I'm going to take it off of the head form one more time just to make sure I can. It is hardening up. And I want to make sure that I'm able to get this guy on and off fairly easily of the head form. And those teeth will show up a lot better once we paint it. Okay, I can carry on. And now, see, I turned on my glue gun here, I turned the temperature down. So it is on the coolest setting for this glue gun, which I think is 250. And I just want to look at it and how it plays on this head. So I don't want it to run down. Okay. And anywhere I think I need gums, I'm going to use this hot glue to make like some gums. All right, I'm ready to start painting this. Obviously paint this to your liking. What I happen to be using is I'm starting with a glossy wood tone spray paint, which is a floral spray paint. And I'm gonna tone it down here. Down here, I'm just mixing a little bit of white spray paint and this glossy wood tone to make a color for my teeth. I don't want white teeth. I'm going to do a little more wood tone. To be honest, I love the translucency of the glue, but I want the teeth to show up better. The mid-tone was the spray paint I did first as that base coverage. That was my mid-tone. And then I airbrushed some deeps. And now I'm going to go in and dry brush a little bit more for a top coat. Now, you can take as much time or as little time shaping this mask. You can do several layers of the foam. You don't have to just do one layer. I was pretty confident that I could get what I needed out of it with the one layer that I had down. I now have a few tones on that. Happy with that. Let's take it off of there. Let's try it on a human head or mine, either one. Let's add a little more. It could use a little more pizzazz. Lots of ways to attach hair. Attach it how you like. I normally use silicone caulking, 100% clear silicone caulking. So I'm going to take, because I want wispy hair, just taking a little bit of hair at a time. I'm putting it in that dab that I put down. Now, I want this hair to look a little more aged. That white is pretty unnatural. Going back to my glossy wood tone. This Design Master spray paint is meant for synthetic flowers. Well, this is synthetic hair. They're kind of the same material. One more touch that I want to do to this is I just want to almost like cobweb it up, and I'm going to use Weldwood contact cement for that. And I'm just going to wave my hand and let this just fall down and be like cobwebs. I'm going to hit those eyes if I can. Really make him nice and cobwebby. I'm going to give that about 30 seconds to dry, then I'm going to mess with it. Then I'm going to shape it a little. I'm happy with him. He took right about an hour to make. Hit! Go! Make stuff! It could use a little more pizzazz.